Hello, everyone, and welcome to my 2025-2026 basketball season predictions. Basketball returns tomorrow night. I can't wait. I'm really excited to see what happens. This is going to be a fun season. Sorry, somebody texted me for something really funny. Um, but yeah, today we're gonna predict where everybody will finish at the end of the regular season from 15th to 1st for both conferences, and then five awards: the MVP, the Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, and Sixth Man of the Year. So let's start with the Western Conference and the team I have finishing in dead last. It is indeed the Utah Jazz. And for the Jazz this year, they're a young team. They got a lot of young players. Um, they have some. They made some veteran acquisitions like Yusuf Nurkic they acquired, Kevin Love, Georges Niang, and they're just trying to build chemistry with all the guys they got. They have Isaiah Collier again for a second year, Ace Bailey, the rookie, Taylor Hendricks hopefully back for a full season, Laurie Markin, Walker Kessler, Keontae George, Bryce Sensabaugh, Kyle Filipowski, and then they also drafted Walter Clayton. Um, so it's a young team. They're just trying to find their way, and they're just trying to gel and build this team for the future. So I have the Jazz finishing last in the West. In 14th, it is the Phoenix Suns, and look, we all knew that they were going to trade Kevin Durant. They did, and they got Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks. Jalen Green's going to be out at the beginning of the season, which is unfortunate, but we'll see what he could do. Jalen Green was a leading scorer for a Rockets team that was the 2 seed last year, and Dylan Brooks is obviously a really good defender who can at points score a lot of points. So I'm really excited to see how those two fit into the team, as well as Mark Williams, who got traded to Phoenix. They drafted Kaman Maluwatch. Still have Devin Booker. Still have Ryan Dunn, Colin Gillespie, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal still here, Oso Iguodaro. Um, and they also brought Nigel Hayes Davis into the fold. So, yeah, for Phoenix, I don't think they're going to be very good this year. They're also just trying to build up chemistry with this team, but I don't know. At some point, I feel like Devin Booker possibly might get traded at the deadline this year. I don't know. I don't know how much longer they can keep him around if they're going to be really bad. So I have the Suns coming home in 14th. Coming home in 13th, I have the Kings. Kings in 13th in the West, and this team, it doesn't really excite me. They kind of are the Bulls of the West in a way. With Levine and DeRozan, we all know how that pairing worked out in Chicago. You signed Dennis Schroeder. You signed Russell Westbrook just recently. Still have Malik Monk and Devin Carter. I feel like he's going to get a lot of playing time this year. Sabonis is going to be out to start the season. I don't know if I mentioned Keon Ellis already, but I don't know. This Kings team, it doesn't really excite me, and I feel like they're going to be just tearing it down a little bit more. It's going to be a delayed rebuild, I think, for them. Because obviously they traded away De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs last year and got Zach LaVine in that deal. But I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't know. The bench doesn't really excite me, besides Westbrook and Monk. But besides those two off the bench, and I don't know, the Kings just don't really excite me this year. I don't think they're going to be that great of a team. I also forgot to mention for the Suns, they have a new coach. And speaking of coaches, I feel like Doug Christie's coaching can win the Kings some games. He looked pretty solid as a head coach last year. But we'll see. We will see what the Kings do. I have them finishing at 13th. Coming in 12th, I have another team that has a new head coach. Sort of. It's the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies, they're hurt right now. Brandon Clark's out, Zach Edey's out to begin the year, Scottie Pippen Jr.'s out to begin the year. Still have Ja, still have Jaren, but you trade Desmond Bane to Orlando for KCP. Jalen Wells is back for a year or two. Still have Santi Aldama, Vince Williams, G.G. Jackson. Signed Ty Jerome, which I think is going to be nice. Cedric Coward, their rookie. I think he can be really good, as well as Cam Spencer if he gets playing time this year. I don't know, the Grizzlies, they have depth, but they also have a lot of injuries, and that's what makes me nervous for Memphis this year. So, because of all these injuries and their injury history and them trading away Desmond Bane, they blew it up. I don't know. I think Memphis is going to fall off a cliff in this tough West Conference, and they're going to finish in 12th. And the final team that I have not even making it out of the play-in or making it to the play-in, it is the Dallas Mavericks. And the Mavs, boy, they are a different team than what I thought they'd be a year ago. I had them as the 1 seed last year in the West after they made the finals. And it looked like that was going to be a good prediction until things just started to fall apart. And then Luka got hurt on Christmas, and he never played for the Mavs again. He gets traded to the Lakers in that shock deal. It sends AD to Dallas. And they just fall off a cliff. But then they draft Cooper Flagg. They get the number 1 overall pick. They get Cooper Flagg. They capture the flag, if you will. And this team, it is very good. You know, obviously they don't have Kyrie because he tore his ACL. He'll be out for a while. He will come back at some point this season, but why I have this team down here is they're a good team. They are a really good team. The question is, can they stay healthy? And it just seems like a given every year. Anthony Davis gets hurt, and hopefully Derek Lively can stay healthy. Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, and Cooper Flagg can stay healthy, as well as Max Christie, Najee Marshall, and Gafford. Like, they have a really good team. It's just, can they stay healthy? And I don't think they're going to stay healthy. And if you lose Anthony Davis for a long time, and possibly Klay Thompson as well, and Cooper Flagg, and PJ Washington are your 1 and 2 guys. Like, I mean, no discredit to PJ Washington. I think he could carry an offense, to be honest with you. But I don't know. It just, not having the big names really hurts. And if that happens this year, I don't think Dallas is going to even make the play-in. So I have the Mavs not even making the play-in. I also forgot to mention they did sign D'Angelo Russell, which is a nice get. Hopefully he can be the D'Angelo Russell we saw where he was tearing it up. I believe it was 2 seasons ago, his last full season with the Lakers. So, where he got hot for a long time during that season. So, yeah, I have the Mavs missing the plan. Now we have our play-in teams. Coming in 10th, got New Orleans. New Orleans, I honestly feel like they have a really, really, really good team. It's just, they have a lot of players on their team that get hurt. You know, Zion Williamson, he's slimmed down. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Herb Jones is here. Trey Murphy and Yves Missi as well. They traded for Jordan Poole. Still have Jordan Hawkins. Signed Kevon Looney and Sadiq Bey. Drafted Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen. You still have Jose Alvarado. DeJounte Murray should come back soon. And you got Carlo as well on this team. Like, the Pels, they have a really good team in my opinion. It's just like the Mavs, can they stay healthy? And in my opinion, I don't think they're going to be healthy. They have a great team, but I don't know. Injuries always ravage the Pels for some reason. I think it's going to happen again. They already have an injury right now. Kevon Looney's out to begin the season. So, I have the Pels coming in 10th. And, I don't know. I really like the Pelicans this year. But they got to stay healthy. In 9th, this is a team I have taking a massive jump. I really liked how they ended the season last year. I have the Trailblazers. The Blazers, Denny Avdija looks like the guy. He looks like the franchise is won. He looks like the best player on this team, and he'll lead this team to a play-in spot. You also have Shaden Sharp still. Tumani Kamara, who has turned into a great defender, as well as Donovan Clingan. You got Jeremy Grant coming off the bench. I don't think he'll be here the full season. But you traded for Drew Holiday again. Again. You got Yang Hansen. And you also signed Dame, who is obviously hurt. He won't be playing this year. But you have Dame back in Portland. Which, when he comes back, if that is this season, which I don't think it will be. I think it'll be next year. This team's going to be pretty good, in my opinion. And, I don't know, just getting guys like Drew Holiday in here, Dame, of course, veteran guys who have been around the league for a while. I feel like this team can make a jump to a play-in spot and possibly a low playoff spot. I really feel like this is the year where the Blazers can make the playoffs for the first time since Dame's first stint with the Portland Trail Blazers. But also, you do have Scoot Henderson, who is out to begin the year as well, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. And if I'm going to be honest, I think they might throw him in a trade at the deadline. I could see Scoot get traded this year. So, Blazers are in 9th, but we'll see what their team looks like at the deadline. Coming in 8th, I have the Spurs. And the Spurs, they got really lucky in the draft as well, getting second in the lottery and getting Dylan Harper as well as Carter Bryant. Got Wemby, of course. You still have De'Aaron Fox, who's going to be out to start the year. Stephon Castle in year 2 is going to be fun. Devin Vassell is a really solid player. And Harrison Barnes as well. Good old Harrison Barnes. Really reliable Harrison Barnes. Jeremy Shohan, he's out to begin the season. Julian Champagnie looked like he was really starting to become a key clog in the Spurs lineup. Off their bench, Keldon Johnson is still here. And then you signed Luke Cornett, which was a really big get. He turned it up in the playoffs for Boston. And this Spurs team looks like it could be really fun. I believe this is could be the first year that the Spurs with Victor Wembanyama make the postseason. And I think they're going to be really good this year. Obviously losing Chris Paul hurts, but you still have a squad. I got the Spurs coming in 8th and possibly a playoff spot. In 7th, and this team I really, really, really wanted to throw in the top 6, but the Norman Powell trade, I don't know. The Norman Powell trade, it kind of took the wind out of my sails. But I got the Clippers in 7th in the West. James Harden, Bradley Beal you signed. You trade for John Collins in the Norman Powell trade, I believe. Yeah, it was. You got Kawhi for now. He might get suspended. And Ivica Zubac still here. Also got Derek Jones. You brought back Chris Paul. Signed Bradley Beal, like I mentioned. Signed Brook Lopez. Still have Nick Batum. Still have Chris Dunn. This team, they have a lot of older stars. And that's good. That's good for chemistry, you know. Harden, Beal, Leonard, Paul, Lopez. 5 older, old players that have been stars. And I think that foundation that the Clippers are trying to set is going to really help them out. I think Clippers are going to be really good again. Question is, can all the old guys and the unction can they get it done? And can they take this team from a middle tier team to a championship contending team? We'll see. I have the Clippers being the first team outside of the top 6. Coming in 6th in the West will be the other LA team, the Lakers. And the Lakers, I can't believe they have Luka. I can't believe they have Luka. That's just insane. They got Luka. LeBron's out at the beginning of the year, which is unfortunate. Still have Rui, still have Austin Reeves. Gabe Vincent coming off the bench. You signed DeAndre Ayton, which not sure how that's going to go. You signed Jake LaRavia, which I think is going to be a really nice add to your bench. Vando's still here. Signed Marcus Smart. We'll see how that goes. Still have Dalton Connect. Still have Bronny. The Lakers are basically the same team. We'll see how they are with a full season, hopefully, of Luka and LeBron. I know LeBron's not going to be playing at the beginning of the year, but we'll see how this team can do. And it's going to be another gelling year between the big stars of Doncic and James. Coming in at number 5, I have the Rockets. And there's 2 reasons why I dropped the Rockets. I was going to have them at 4 or 3. But first of all, Fred VanVleet gets hurt for the season, pretty much. And also them trading for Kevin Durant. I think that's going to throw off the chemistry at first, for the first couple weeks, maybe the month of the year. But you still have Amen Thompson, who is turning into one of the best players in the league, as well as Alfred Şengün. Jabari Smith looked really good toward the end of the year. And right now, Reed Shepherd is the starting point guard. So, hey, we'll see what Reed Shepherd can do. It's Reed's time. Obviously, they traded Brooks and Green to Phoenix in the KD trade, and Cam Whitmore got dumped to Washington. So they still have Aaron Holiday. They signed Dorian Finney-Smith, which I really like that ad, as well as Josh Okogie, get defenders off the bench. Still have Tari Eason, still have Steven Adams, and Jayshawn Tate, as well as bringing back Clint Capella. Like, this team defensively is going to be really, really good. And they have Kevin Durant now, which is a proven scorer late in the clutch. So they got the guy they need in clutch situations. It's just, can they put it all together this year? We'll see. But the Rockets are 5th in the West for me. Coming in 4th, I have the team that made it to the Western Conference Finals. Unfortunately, lost to the Thunder in 5. Almost said 4. They did win 1 game. It's the Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves, they're basically the same team. They didn't bring back Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but besides that, they have everybody back from last season. Still have Mike Conley, still have Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, Rob Dillingham, DiVincenzo, Terrence Shannon, who's going to have a bigger role, Naz Reid. Well, they did get rid of Luka Garza, but that's not as big as Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I mean, Garza's a good player, but Alexander-Walker was the bigger loss, in my opinion. But the Timberwolves, they have the same team. They're going to run it back in year 2. They finished off the end of last season really, really strong, and that gives me confidence that the Timberwolves will be really, really, really good. So, I think the Timberwolves are going to be 4th in the West, but they're going to be a lot better than what they were last year. Minnesota in the top 4. Coming in 3rd, I got the Warriors. The Warriors, they had a lot of drama this offseason. Didn't make a move until very late. Jonathan Kuminga's contract was a big situation. They finally signed him, but he'll probably be gone at the deadline. But this, besides Kaminga, this team, after they traded for Jimmy Butler, was really freaking good. Jimmy Butler really brought something to this team, as well as Moses Mooney. Brandon Pajemski stepped up. And this Warriors team is very old. They have four of their starters 30 years of age or older, in Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond, and Al Horford, who they signed, which is really nice. And then they got the young guys in Moody, Pajemski, Kaminga, for however long he stays, Trace Jackson Davis, Quentin Post, Gui Santos, Pat Spencer. But this Warriors team has a lot of depth, which I really like. You know, obviously Moody being out to begin the year, as well as D'Anthony Melton, who they brought back, isn't ideal. But they still have that championship DNA. They still have the championship DNA. And they got guys, they got depth. I think the Warriors are going to be a threat again. They're going to be in the top three, and they'll be third in the West. Coming home in second in the West is the Denver Nuggets, who made some big changes this year. They fired Mike Malone late in the season last year, and brought in David Adelman, who I think looked like a really good head coach. He got thrown into the fire, and he took the Thunder to 7, so credit to him. But the Nuggets made some changes. They traded Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson, which I think is a good move. You know, Cam Johnson's younger, and he's basically the same as MPJ. They just paid Christian Braun today. Still have Jamal Murray, still have Aaron Gordon, still have Jokic. And then they made a ton of changes to their bench, which I really like. You know, you still have the young guys and Peyton Watson, Julian Strother, and Jalen Pickett, who I think could be really nice for them. But then you bring back Bruce Brown, you sign Tim Hardaway, Deron Holmes will be healthy this year, Zeke Naji, you have him again, and then you trade Saric away and bring in Jonas Valanciunas off the bench, who is basically Jokic, but just, how do I say this? It'd be nice. Jonas Valanciunas is basically Jokic. He just doesn't score that much. He's more a defensive center. So this Nuggets team, they really bought into their bench, and I think they're going to be a lot better than what they were last season without as many pieces as they had. So I really like the Nuggets this season. I think they're going to be second in the West to the defending champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the Thunder, what can I say? They're the same. They didn't lose anybody. They didn't lose any of the big guys. They kept basically the same team. I think the only move they made was they traded Dylan Jones away. And Dylan Jones, I don't think he even played last year. I think he was just a man who played at the end of the game if there was a blowout. So, yeah, the Thunder, they're the same team, and I have two questions. One, can they stay healthy throughout the whole year? And two, can they win more games than they did last season? So, the Thunder will finish out at the top of the Western Conference. And now we will go to the Eastern Conference, where finishing in dead last, because it's very apparent that they're trying to tank to get the number 1 overall pick, it is the Brooklyn Nets. And the Nets, they brought back Cam Thomas, although on a qualifying offer. I don't know if he'll be on the team at the deadline, after the deadline, I should say, as well as Nick Claxton. You trade for Michael Porter Jr., which is going to be fun. I mean, I like that Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. are going to be together. I think that's going to be a good duo. You bring in Terrence Mann. You keep Zaire Williams, Noah Clowney. Daron Sharp still here. Tyrese Martin, Jalen Wilson. But The Nets had 5 first-round picks this year, and they're going to try and get them a lot of playing time. But the Nets are not going to be very good. They're going to be bad. They're going to tank and try and get a high pick. Maybe get AJ. We'll see. But the Nets are going to be bad this year. They're going to be last in the Eastern Conference. Coming home in 14th in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, we have the Hornets. And I'm out on the Hornets, in my opinion. You got LaMelo, you got Brandon Miller. Hopefully they can stay healthy. Miles Bridges is here, and Moussa Diabate is now the center, as Mark Williams and Nick Richards were traded to Phoenix in the span of a calendar year. But the Hornets wanted Dalton Connect. Obviously, that trade didn't work. But they got their white shooter, Con Knipple. He's going to be a starter for them. They also drafted a lot of young talent: Con Knipple, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Liam McNeely. Should be fun with those 3 in the fold. Trey Mann should be back for the full year, as well as Grant Williams. Josh Green's here again, traded for Colin Sexton, which sent Nurkic away. You still have Salon, Mason Plumlee signed back here, KJ Simpson's still here. Like this, and you also got Pat Connaughton in a trade with the Bucks. This Hornets team, they're going to be bad. And they're going to get injured, most likely. So I really don't know the direction of this Charlotte Hornets franchise. We'll see what happens. But, the Hornets are going to be bad. They're going to be 14th. Coming home in 13th, we have the Washington Wizards, who I think can be a team that honestly finishes better than where I have them. The Wizards, you trade Jordan Poole away for C.J. McCollum. Also got veteran guys like Chris Middleton as well. That's their only veteran guy. They got rid of Marcus Smart, didn't they? But Bob Carrington and Alex Sarr, I think, are going to have big year 2s. Bilal Coulibaly, I think, is going to be really big this year, even though he's out at the beginning of the season. Trey Johnson and A.J. Johnson, that's going to be fun. They both look like really good players. Keyshawn George and Tristan Vucevic. I like those 2 players a lot, as well as Corey Kispert and Justin Champagnie. They have a lot of young, promising pieces, the Wizards do. It's just the question is, can they build up the chemistry? And can they put it together? Oh, I forgot to talk about Cam Whitmore. That trade was huge, getting Cam Whitmore from the Rockets to give him some more playing time. I don't know, man. I feel like the starting lineup could be Bob Carrington, Bob, Cam, Bilal, Alex Sarr, and Justin Champagnie in the future. That starting lineup could be something a few years down the line. I don't know. This Wizards team's going to be scary a few years from now. But this year, they're going to be 13th in the East, in my opinion. But I think they can be better than that. Coming home in 12th, I have the Chicago Bulls. And the Bulls are the Bulls. They're like the Hornets, in my opinion. They're directionless. They're in purgatory, in my opinion. You bring back Josh Giddey. Modest Buzelis looks great in the preseason. I think he'll have a big year too. You trade Lonzo away for Isaac Okoro. So good defender for good defender. Kobe White's going to be out at the beginning of the season, which isn't ideal. And you still have Vucevic. The bench, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams, Zach Collins. I don't know. I feel like the Bulls, if they're smart, which it's proven they're not, they'll trade a lot of people away at the deadline. And build the team around Josh Giddey and Maz Buzelis, who I think are the guys for the Bulls. No disrespect to Kobe White, but I think Kobe White could be a trade piece where you could get a big name player to come to Chicago and really kickstart this team into the future. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to keep a lot of people at the deadline and just keep the trajectory of being really bad up. So I have the Bulls finishing in 12th. Now, the Sixers will be 11th. And hear me out. The Sixers, like the Mavs, are a good team. It's just, can they stay healthy? Paul George was really bad in his first year, plus he got hurt a lot. Joel Embiid is very injury prone. You have Tyrese Maxey, who is honestly their best player. Yes, I said that right. Tyrese Maxey is the 76ers' best player. And I know a lot of Philly fans will disagree with me with that. And your best ability is availability, and Tyrese Maxey is more available than Joel Embiid is. And that's proven. So Tyrese Maxey will be the Sixers' best player this year. And he's going to be carrying the load, I think, whenever or if Paul George and Embiid get hurt again. But VJ Edgecombe, you draft. He looks really good. He looks like he's going to be really good. Hopefully you get Jared McCain back soon because he looked really good before he went down with his injury. Quentin Grimes looked good. Like, the Sixers' young guards are going to be very good, in my opinion, I think. It's just, can everybody else stay healthy? Kyle Lowry's still here. He's going to really help out, I think, VJ and Grimes, Maxey, and McCain whenever McCain comes back. Justin Edwards looked like a really good player as well. And Adem Bona. I forgot to mention Kelly Oubre, didn't I? Kelly Oubre's here. Also got another veteran, Eric Gordon. Trent Watford, I think, is going to be a very underrated signing. I think he's going to be a really good clog in this Sixers lineup. And also you got Johnny Broome. I don't know. Auburn fans, help me out. You got Johnny. I think he could be really good if he gets playing time. But it's just the Sixers' main two guys, George and Embiid. Can they stay healthy? So I don't think they will, and I think that's going to be the Sixers' downfall. I think they will miss out on the plan. They'll finish 11th. Now we got the play-in teams. We got the Heat. And the Heat... am I crazy? Where's Tyler Hero? Must have gotten hurt. There's no way they just traded him, right? Right? Hang on a second. Tyler Hero isn't on the depth chart. He didn't just get traded, right? Oh, no, he's hurt. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Sorry, there's been crazy trades. I just had to check. Hero's going to be out at the beginning of the season. But you still have Bam. Hopefully he can rebound after his down year last year. Andrew Wiggins looks solid for Miami. Khalil Ware has been a beast this preseason. Davion Mitchell is going to be a really good defender. And then the big trade they made, Norman Powell's with Miami. That's just bonkers to me. I can't believe they got Norman Powell for what they did. That's going to be fun with Powell and Hero as the guards. I don't know. This Heat team can be really fun. You know, you got Terry Rozier, Jaime Jaquez, Jovic off the bench, as well as Pele Larson, Simone Fontecchio, and Kasparis. I don't know. This Heat team can be really fun. It's just, I don't know if they can jump up the pecking order in the East. I think they're going to be where they finished last year. I think they're going to be 10th. Hopefully you get Tyler Hero back as soon as possible, because it'd be a shame if your best player is out for like the entire season. So the Heat finish in 10th in the East. The second play-in team is the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers, I would have put them at 1 had they won the championship, because they very well could have last year, as they're coming off a finals loss in Game 7 to OKC after their insane run through the playoffs. I can't believe what they did. I did not see that coming. I didn't even have them making out of the first round. I don't know. There's for some reason, there are teams that make it to the big games like the NBA Finals or the World Series that I have losing in the first round. Like, I had the Pacers losing to the Bucks in 6 in the first round of my playoff video last year, which was obviously wrong. And then this year, for any baseball fans out here, I had the Dodgers for some reason. For some reason, I was high on the Reds. And I had the Reds beating the Dodgers in 3 in the wild card round. Yeah, never again go against the Dodgers. No way. So anyway, done with my rant about that. The Pacers, Pascal Siakam will be the de facto leader of this team, scoring wise. I really think Aaron Nesmith and Benedict Mathurin are going to have big years. And whenever TJ McConnell comes back from his injury, he will too. We'll see how Andrew Nembhard can be as the starting point guard. Isaiah Jackson is your center, obviously after Miles Turner left, which is shocking. Obi Toppin, I think, is going to be really huge for them off the bench, as well as Jarris Walker and Johnny Furphy. Ben Shepherd looked really good in the finals as well. Signed Jay Huff, which is a really nice signing. And then hopefully Cam Jones can get his legal situation under control. Hopefully he is all good. He just got arrested today. So, yeah, Pacers would be a lot higher if Hallie didn't get hurt, but he did. And yeah, I think Indiana's going to be a lost cause in a way this year. As well as this next team, Boston Celtics will finish 8th in the East, in my opinion. No Tatum. He's out for probably the season. I don't know. He may come back toward the end of the year, which would be insane. But it's a possibility. The Celtics, you trade away Porzingis. You trade away Drew. You trade away... I swear they got rid of somebody else. Luke Cornett left. Oh, no. That's it. You bring Anthony Simons in. Derek White's going to be the point guard, of course. Jaylen Brown's the leader of this team. You got Kata starting. Sam Hauser will be a starter. And then obviously Peyton Pritchard, who is just a weapon off the bench. Baylor Shireman, he can be really good for you. You signed Chris Boucher and Luka Garza to be the backup centers to Neemias Queta. I know I butchered his first name. God, I suck at names. Josh Minot could also be a really solid signing that no one's ever heard of. They just stole from Minnesota. Minot and Garza they got. And both of them look really good, in my opinion. So the Celtics will be better. They won't be the same as, obviously, the championship team, because Tatum's not playing and you don't have Porzingis or Holiday. But I still feel like they can be a really great team when Jason Tatum comes back. But this year's going to be a down year, of course, because you're going to have no Tatum for most likely the entire year. So I have the Celtics falling to the 8th spot and being in the play-in. Now we go to a team where I think is going to be the biggest jump of teams in this video, I think. I have the Raptors being 7th. And the Raptors, they have a really, really young team. Emmanuel Quickly still here. RJ Barrett. Brandon Ingram hopefully will play a minute for the Raptors this season. Hopefully. Still have Scotty Barnes, the de facto leader of the team, and Jakob Pertl. And then off the bench, they have a lot of young guys. Jonathan Mobo really impressed. Grady was really good. Jamal Shed looked good. Jacoby Walter, another one of the rookies. And then Oshay Abaje. Jesus. Um, he. The Raptors have depth. They also drafted Colin Murray Boyles. They got Chucky Hepburn as a rookie. AJ Lawson's still here. They signed Mamu. And Jamison Battle, when he got playing time, looked like a really good shooter for Toronto. It's just the question is, can they stay healthy? And can the forwards of Barrett, Ingram, and Barnes really gel together? So the Raptors, I think, will jump up because I really think they will gel. And I think Jakob Pertl will lose the starting center job to Jonathan Mobo, to be honest with you. But this Toronto team, they have depth. I think they're ready to win. I got the Raptors finishing in 7th, just outside of the top 6. Coming in 6th, I have the Bucks, who made the decision to cut Dame, who was going to be out for the whole year, and sign Miles Turner, which was a shock to literally everyone. I can't believe Miles Turner is a Buck. You know, the whole Pacers-Bucks rivalry, I never in my wildest dreams would imagine Miles Turner leaving the Pacers, where he has been his entire career, to go to the rival Bucks. That's just wow. You still have Giannis, hopefully. I know there's been a lot of drama around him. Kyle Kuzma's on this team. That is a concern. Gary Trent's on this team, and Kevin Porter Jr. is on this team. Like, the Bucks, their starting lineup can be really good, besides Kuz. Or I think, I shouldn't say besides Kuz. I think Kuz is their weakest link because he didn't look the greatest in his first half of a year with Milwaukee. But I think the Bucks, after cutting Dame, did a really good job pivoting. You still have Bobby. You still have Jericho Sims. Torian Prince is still here. AJ Green just got paid. He could be a really good sixth man for Milwaukee. And you signed Cole Anthony, who is a really great locker room guy. I really like the Cole Anthony signing. Ryan Rollins really impressed me at the end of last season. Got Andre Jackson. Hopefully he'll get playing time. Gary Harris is with Milwaukee. Mark Sears, the rookie out of Bama. And then you got Giannis's brothers. You bring back Thanasis, who, of course, just like Cole Anthony, is a great locker room guy. That's why I think Milwaukee's going to jump up. You need the great locker room guys like Cole Anthony and Thanasis Antetokounmpo. So, with Cole Anthony and Thanasis here, as well as Alex Antetokounmpo, I think the Bucks, even though they're not like the championship team they once were, I still think they'll be a really solid team again and be a playoff team in the top 6. So I have Milwaukee finishing in 6th. Coming in 5th, I have the Pistons, who I think got worse from last season. You still have Cade, who I think will be an MVP candidate this year. Jalen Duren looked really good in the playoffs. Asar hopefully will break out more. Jaden Ivey, who had a really good season until he got hurt, is still going to be out to start the year, which is unfortunate. You still have Tobias Harris. And then you got Marcus Sasser and Ron Holland, who I think could be breakout candidates off the bench. Still have Isaiah Stewart. Tobias Harris is still here. And then you lose Malik Beasley, which is unfortunate. But you signed Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson. I really don't think that's the greatest of pivots from losing Beasley. They still can't sign Beasley. He's still a free agent, obviously with this whole gambling situation going on. But I don't know. Them losing Malik Beasley, who was really good for them off the bench, we'll see how that affects them. I think the Pistons will be really good, but if they had Beasley, I think they'd be a top 3 team, in my opinion. So I have the Pistons coming home 5th in the East. Then the team that made a ton of moves in the Eastern Conference, a team that I really think vaulted themselves in the championship contention for the first time, truly for the first time in the Trae Young era. I have the Hawks coming home in fourth. Still have Trae Young. Dyson Daniels was amazing last year. Most improved player. In my opinion, should have been defensive player of the year, but Evan Mobley was also great, so it is what it is. Jalen Johnson hopefully will be healthy for the whole year. Zachary Risashe looked really good to end his first season. I think he can have a really special second season. And then you trade for Kristaps Porzingis. You sign Luke Kennard. You sign Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Onyeka Okongwu's still here. You have a double center team. Mo Gay looked really good as well. And Keaton Wallace, Casey Wallace's brother. The Hawks, they have depth. They have the championship caliber team that Trae Young's been waiting for. And I think the Hawks are going to be playing some meaningful baseball. I can't believe I just said that. Oh, we are not talking about the Braves. Meaningful basketball. That's what I meant to say. Basketball, not baseball. Baseball's ending. Basketball's beginning. Just baseball. Oh my God, I did it again. Basketball, not baseball. Basketball. We're watching basketball, not baseball. Yeah, I think the Hawks will be playing some meaningful basketball this year. And they'll be a top 4 team in the East. They finished 4th. Third, I got the Cavs. The Cavs had a damper of a season. Damper of an end to a great season. The playoffs were awful to the Cavs. They got hurt against Indiana and lost. Darius Garland's out to begin the year. Max Strus is out to begin the year. But you still have Donovan Mitchell. You still have Evan Mobley, who was the defensive player of the year. Jarrett Allen's still here. DeAndre Hunter will be a starter. And then you trade Okoro away for Lonzo Ball, which is really nice. And then Sam Merrill's still here. Obviously, you lose Ty Jerome, which isn't ideal. But you keep Dean Wade. You sign Larry Nance. I don't know. This Cavs team, I think, will still be really good because they obviously have the core 4 for the most part. Hopefully, Garland gets back as soon as possible. But the depth around them is an issue. And we'll see who can step up. But them losing Ty Jerome and not having Garland and Strus to begin the year does worry me. Hopefully Garland and Strus can come back and their bench can step up like it was last year, as their bench was really good. So I have the Cavs coming home in third in the East. Now in second, we have a team that made a big trade a ton of first-round picks to Memphis, and got their three-point shooter. Desmond Bane is a Magic, and the Magic will be second in the East. You still have Paolo, you still have Franz. The Magic had horrible injury luck last year. I think that will change this year with the addition to Desmond Bane, who sure has had his injury issues in the past, but I think that's behind him now. Jalen Suggs, I believe, will be a first-team all-defensive player this year, and he'll show why he is so important to this Orlando Magic squad. You got Wendell Carter and Goga Bitadze, which is a really good center combo. Jonathan Isaac off the bench. Tristan Da Silva, who showed flashes last year. Rookie Chase Richardson, who I think could be a really key piece to Orlando this year. And they signed Tyus Jones, who has always been a solid backup point guard. We'll see if Anthony Black gets playing time. He may get traded, in my opinion. and so might Jet Howard as well. But this Magic team, they got a shooter. That's what they needed last year. They needed 3-point shooting. They got Desmond Bain, who's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league today, and I think he's going to fit in well. And I think this Magic team is ready to win a championship. So I got the Magic coming home in second, and in first, I have the team that I believe is the most complete team in the Eastern Conference. Finishing in first, I got the Knicks. And the Knicks, yes, they fired Tibbs. I didn't really agree with that because it was the first year with that team. I feel like they should have ran it back, but Mike Brown isn't a bad coach. Mike Brown was really good for the Kings, but they were struggling and he got the boot. Which I think is going to be the best for him. But this Knicks team is basically the same. Still have Brunson, still have Mikal Bridges, still have OG Anunoby. Cat's still here, and you got Mitchell Robinson who will start. Josh Hart's going to be coming off the bench. Still have Deuce McBride, and then you got the signings of Jordan Clarkson and Jershon Yabusele, which I really like those pieces. Landry Shamet looked really good for New York as well. Like this Knicks team, they look complete. I think the Clarkson move was really big. The Yabusele move was really big. I like the moves that they made. Hopefully Mike Brown's coaching style can really help out this New York team, and they don't have to play their starters 40 minutes a night like Tom Thibodeau was doing. They can trust their bench. And this Knicks team, I feel like, is the most complete Knicks team that they've had for a long, long time. And I think the Knicks are ready to go. They're ready to win. I think they're going to show that this year, just like they did last year with them almost making the finals before losing to the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals in TNT's last ever series. But yeah, I feel like the Knicks are ready to go, and they will finish first in the Eastern Conference. Now, we will go to our awards. Starting with Sixth Man of the Year. And this is a really, really interesting... This is a really, really interesting award because I feel it can go to a lot of people. I feel like it could go to Peyton Pritchard again, Naz Reid again, Josh Hart, Buddy Hield, Malik Monk. Like, there's so many guys who it could go to. Marcus Sasser. But the guy who I think it'll go to, and yeah, I think the Pacers are not going to be as great as they were last year, of course, because no Halliburton. But something about Obi Toppin screams he's going to have a big season. And Obi Toppin, I believe, will have a big enough year where he will win the Pacers some games. He'll be the guy that puts Indiana in front late in the going in some games for them this year off the bench. I believe Obi Toppin will be Sixth Man of the Year this year in the NBA. Now, we'll go to Most Improved Player. And once again, there is a ton of options throughout the league. There's a ton. You know, you got guys like Trey Murphy or Jaden McDaniels, Christian Brown. Who else could I think of? Then you have the Shaden Sharp. There's so many options. Like, it's going to be really, 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 really tough to figure out who could be most improved player. Um, I really don't know who it could be, honestly. Um, but the person who I think will be most improved player of the year, because I really haven't thought about this award, to be honest with you. So bear with me here. It's going to take me a while to figure out somebody who I think it could be. Ah. Ooh. Man. This will be really hard. Hmm. Oh, I know somebody. So Khalil Ware. Why not? Khalil Ware, he looks really good in the preseason. I think he could become the Heat's new franchise center, and he and Bam can pair out really well. I know Maz Buzelis could be another big name it could go to. Um, but I think it's going to be Khalil Ware. Now, let's go to Rookie of the Year, and let's be real. It's going to be Cooper Flagg. Defensive Player of the Year, Victor Wembanyama. And then MVP, I'm just going to say this because this is a trend that I'm noticing in sports. Whenever there's a player who wins multiple MVPs, it feels like whenever they have their best season, like even when they have their best season, they don't even be an all-star. Like, I can name an example for baseball this year. Christopher Sanchez is going to finish top 3 in the Cy Young, but they gave an all-star spot to Jacob Mizorowski over him, which, as a guy from Milwaukee, I was a little skeptical of it at the time. I mean, it was cool for Mizorowski, but Christopher Sanchez was an all-star last year. He's been in the league a lot longer, and he's having the best season of his career. Yeah, he's not a pitcher that most people know, which MLB was pushing Mizorowski at the time. But Philly fans in general, they know who Christopher Sanchez is, and MLB nerds like me, they know who he is, and he's probably been the best National League pitcher not named Paul Skeens. He should have been an all-star this year. He's going to be second in the Cy Young. He should have been an all-star, but no, they gave it to the Miz. And after how Mizorowski looked in the second half compared to Sanchez, yeah, it didn't age well. But let me go back to my point. I feel like Nikola Jokic had his best season last year. And obviously MVP went to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which Shai also had his best season last year. And he's a big reason to why the Thunder are the reigning champs. But I think the Nuggets have a great team. I think Jokic, Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic will be up there, Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Brunson. Like, there's a lot of guys who will be up there in MVP voting this year. But I think Nikola Jokic wins it again. So, a couple of boring picks, some interesting ones for Sixth Man of the Year and Most Improved. But Depoy, it was going to be Wemby if he didn't get hurt. It'll be Wemby this year. Rookie of the Year, it's going to obviously be Cooper Flagg. And then MVP, I believe Jokic will retain that crown once again. So that is my 2025-2026 basketball season predictions. I am really excited that basketball is back. This offseason flew by. And yeah, I'm ready for NBA to be back tomorrow night. I really can't wait to watch it on NBC. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for watching this basketball playoff predictions video, or basketball 2025 basketball season predictions video. We're not in the playoffs yet. We're far from the playoffs. And yeah, see y'all later. RV out. Peace.